What's been your mindset throughout this process for you?
I'm trying to enjoy it as much as possible. It's like a once in a lifetime thing. You like get to be here at the combine, do all these interviews and stuff. Like it's obviously really important for us. I feel like it's a really important part of like the whole draft prospect. So like I'm trying to do my best in every interview and every testing, whatever it is, and then I'm trying to enjoy it.
What are some of the things that teams want to see from you, want to hear from you, or what are some of the questions that you've been getting from the various teams that you've interviewed with?
Obviously they asked me about my background. Like I kind of have like this unique story, like coming from Austria, how to get to basketball, like how did everything start for me, and then they asked me about like just mainly my background, like why I like playing basketball, all that stuff. Like, they just want to get to know me.
As the league gets smaller, more teams playing small ball, how do you see yourself best fitting into a system? Things like
I feel like I actually fit that style pretty good because like not the league's getting smaller, but also like you have to be more versatile as a big. Like you have to do more different stuff, like step out a little bit, like be able to handle the ball, be able to pass the ball, that stuff. And I feel like that's something I'm actually pretty good at. So I feel like I'm fitting pretty well.
You mentioned stepping out. You obviously significantly improved your free throw percentage and your form this year. Is that something you're working on now, enhancing your jump shot ability?
I definitely am. Yeah, that's something I'm working on pretty much all the time right now. Just trying to get that 17-footer like really. I feel good about it. It's just a matter of like getting it on a more consistent level right now, and that's what I'm working on.
Is it more about like revising mechanics, or like watching film, or just getting reps?
I think it's mainly reps. Just like getting used to it. I wasn't much of a. I just didn't take many jump shots in college at all. Like it's not that I didn't make them. I just didn't take them at all. So that's why I'm trying to get the reps and trying to get used to it.
What was the overlying reason for you? Because last year you would have been a number one, you would have been a first round pick. So why did you go back to school? And how do you feel that this helps your stock and helps your game and helps you mature?
I think one of the main reasons for me to come back to school was because I wanted to get better as a basketball player. I feel like I had a solid first year, but I knew I could do better. Like I knew I could really dominate on the collegiate level. So that was one of the reasons. I felt like with like that added pressure, like being the go-to guy of my team, having to perform basically every single night for my team, like that would help me mature as a leader and as a basketball player, and help me in this next level. So I didn't want to rush anything. I knew I would still have a good year improving as a basketball player coming back to college, and that's why I made that decision to go back.
You made a lot of good points about why you decided to come back, but is it still a really tough call to make?
It's definitely a tough call to make. Like it was like both sides had their positives and their negatives. Like I really loved my experience in college, my first year. I loved my teammates, so it was hard for me to like leave him, or the idea of leaving him after my first year. So that was something that drew me back too. But obviously, like going to the NBA, that was my dream. Like so, I was like, it was right there. It was like up for grabs, and I could have gone there. And so that was something that really like drew me towards the NBA. So it was. Like, I think both sides would have been fine. Like if I would have made that decision, but I'm happy the way I did it because it worked out well for me.
The number of drafts have you possibly going to the Bucks. Have you met with them? Have you thought about that at all?
I have. I had an interview with the Bucks. Yeah, I thought about it. I think they fit my play style really well. So I would enjoy playing for them.
How many teams have you had a chance to interview with this week?
I interviewed for I think like 13 or 14 teams.
Were the Celtics among those teams?
They were, yeah.
Just your impressions of Brad Stevens and Danny Ainge and those guys when you had a chance to talk with them.
We had a really casual, like a good interview. I enjoyed my interview with the Celtics. I heard only good things about Brad Stevens. I think he's a really good coach. So I think that'd be great too.
How about your meeting with the Bucks? How did that go?
Yeah, I just talked about it. It was, I think actually most, like pretty much all my interviews were really casual, like just like on a friendly basis, trying to get to know me. No like tricky questions or anything in that way. So the Bucks meeting was also a really good one.
Playing with Jason Kidd, would that be something you would like?
I think. Like I don't know much about him as a coach. Like he's very new to business, but as a player, he was like such a smart player, a good decision maker. So I feel like he can be a very good coach, and it's a young team, and I think he did a very good job with them this last year, so I think that could be good too.
How about Giannis? Have you seen what he can do with his triple-double machine?
No, Giannis is crazy. He's a freak of nature. He's playing point guard now. And how tall is he? Like 6'9", 6'10", so if not even taller than that. So I think and him being from Europe too. I think that'd be a cool thing too.
Were you with the Timberwolves at all?
What was that? Sorry.
The Timberwolves, have you met with them now?
Did I meet with the Timberwolves? Yeah, I did. I did meet with the Timberwolves. I was on my second day. It was, like I said, all the other meetings. Like the main questions are all about my background, like how I got to basketball. That was like the main deal with them too, like getting to know their new coach and like they'll figure it out.
Did Brad Stevens get into what they expect out of five?
No, actually he did. We talked a little bit about their play style, and I asked him like how would he see me fit in with them, but like he didn't tell me what he would expect from me if they were to draft me. We didn't get into that now.
Did you meet with the Pelicans?
I did meet with the Pelicans. Yeah.
Did you guys talk at all? I mean, with a guy like Anthony Davis there at the 4, did you talk at all about how you would fit with a guy like that?
I'm actually not sure if we talked about it in an interview. I think we could like play together on the court. I think that could work out pretty well. Like he's obviously a guy who would draw a lot of the attention towards him, and like gives his teammates a little bit more freedom to, just because there's more space for the rest of the team. So that I think that could work out really well.
Is there a sense of pride you take in having an international background? Is there a sense of pride that you take coming from that type of background?
Yeah, definitely. Like it's like a surreal feeling for me, like to know that I'm probably going to be the first player from Austria to play in the NBA. Like that's something that I'm actually really proud of, and I hope I can help Austrian basketball in a sense that like there's going to be more kids starting to play basketball, maybe more money going into the sport, just like for young kids to develop, like maybe better facilities, stuff like that. That'd be a really cool thing.
How about the Lakers? Did you speak with them?
I did speak with the Lakers. Yeah.
What came out of that?
Yeah, it was like the Lakers. I just had a talk with. They actually had a lot of people in that interview. I think there was like 10 or even more people in there. It was a good meeting too. We just talked about the Lakers having like their kind of like their rebuilding process right now. And again, like about me, like how I think how I would do in the NBA, how I feel like what my strengths and my weaknesses are.
When you talk to Minnesota, did the touchdown killer or did the subject of mental toughness come up?
I don't remember exactly if it came up in that interview, to be honest.
Your head coach in college, Larry K. He played for the Bucks. He also played in the NBA. Was very successful. How has he helped you kind of in the process, and what's he telling you about it?
He helped me a lot. It was actually mainly off the court stuff that he gave me. He gave me tips about. It was like him telling me about the life of a pro, like how there's nothing else like school that you have to focus on from that point. Like it's just basketball. That's the main thing, and that's where all your attention should be. And then he also said like I'm gonna have to be prepared for 82 game season like this. It's not gonna be easy, especially for the rookies. Like getting used to those. Like it's like more than double the games that we had in college. So that's gonna be something that I'm gonna have to adjust to. And he wanted me for that. Like just be ready for it.
How did he help your game in college too? Because he was a great front court player.
Yeah, he helped me a lot, especially in that summer between freshman and sophomore year. We just worked on my game. I think I made a pretty big offensive jump from that freshman to sophomore year, and he was a big part of that. Like just tell me to slow down in the post a little more, take my time, make better decisions. That was something we worked on a lot that summer.
With the Lakers, how do you see yourself fitting in with that young core?
Well, it obviously like having a team that's like rebuilding right now, where I could like be on the court and develop with my teammates would be a great fit for me, I think. So yeah, like with a young team and getting a chance to develop, that'd be great.
Sixers a team that you met with?
Yeah, I did today.
Like everyone else has their impressions of that. What did they have you do? Did they have you do anything different?
No, like nothing crazy. I think they had me draw up a play like what I would do at the end of the game. So, but like nothing too crazy. I actually had like no crazy interview experiences so far with none of the teams.
Did you say you model your game after the most? Current or former player?
I think it could be a lot like Pau Gasol. He's a guy who was very versatile, has good touch around the basket. Like he's a good passer. He can dribble the ball. He was even stepping out now, shooting threes. I hope I can get there too. And he's a winner type. Like he won some championships. I think I can be that too. So I really hope I can be a lot like him.
Did you speak with Did you speak with the Magic? And if you did, what was it like speaking with a team that has just lost its head coach?
I did speak with the Magic. Yeah, it was actually that day that they lost their head coach. It was a very small meeting, very relaxed. As guys were really cool. Like they were just trying to get to know me. At that point, I actually didn't know that they lost their head coach. So like that didn't really affect the interview at all.
Jakob, wie
wichtig ist Dirk Nowitzki in deinem Basketballleben?
Er ist in dem Sinne wichtig, dass er für Deutschland, dass es er für Deutschland gemacht hat, hoffe ich, dass ich für Österreich machen kann. Es wird schwer werden, weil die Rolle, die er für Deutschland gespielt hat, ist natürlich unglaublich riesig. Aber ich hoffe, dass ich einen ähnlichen Einfluss auf Österreich Basketball haben kann.
What other teams have you met with here besides Orlando?
I've met with Orlando, the Bucks, the Pelicans, the Celtics, the Hawks, the Spurs. It was like 14 or 15 teams that I've met with, so that was actually like half the team.
Yeah.
All right, thanks,
Thanks very much.